Now on view at SCADFash, Manish Arora's Life is Beautiful. Renowned for dazzling designs in a rainbow of colors, Manish Arora has brought the talent and craftsmanship of India's rich sartorial history to the global forefront, earning international acclaim on runways across 3 continents. Designing in India since the 1990s, Aurora's glittering garments celebrate extravagant expressions of self through varied materials, techniques, and silhouettes in a triumphant union of Western and Eastern aesthetics adapted to today's multicultural society with a touch of humor. Find out more at scadfash.org.
Support comes from the Grady Health Foundation, presenting Move for Grady Saturday, April 27th. When you ride, run, or walk for Grady, you help our entire community thrive. There's a distance for everyone, and all proceeds benefit Grady Health System. More at moveforgrady.com.
Hi, I'm Sammy Purcell, Associate Editor with Rough Draft Atlanta.
And I'm WABE contributor and AJC Senior Editor Mike Jordan.
And this is How Do You Atlanta.
Here's what's going on in Atlanta this week. What do you got, Sammy?
So we've got the festival on Ponce coming up April 6th through 7th at Olmsted Linear Park. So this is an Atlanta Arts and Crafts Festival set in Olmsted Linear Park, which if you've never been, it's a really, really beautiful park. You can enjoy this gorgeous landscape while you also enjoy over 125 displays of fine arts and crafts, folk, and outsider art. So this is a really, really awesome place to experience some local Atlanta artists. And in addition to those artists, there's also going to be a children's area. So if you want to bring the kids, get them outside, the weather's starting to get a little warmer. This is also a great opportunity for that. There'll also be local food and beverage available for purchase, but attendance is free. So you can come, look around, get your fill of arts and crafts on the weekend. So again, that's Festival on Ponce, April 6th through 7th at Olmsted Linear Park.
Yeah, Olmsted Linear Park really is a nice one. And I mean, it's one of those parks where there's several parks that in Atlanta we have a lot. We're a city with a lot of green space.
Yeah, for sure.
But I do feel like, it's one where, if you haven't been out there, go and check it out, because for the festival on Ponce especially, it's a great place for a lot of people to come together and have this kind of event.
Yeah, I used to live over by Olmsted and I would run there. I wouldn't suggest doing that during the festival, but it's really, really beautiful. So definitely check it out.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, what else do you have for us this week?
All right, we have Atlanta Got Soul, but with S-O-L-E. So yes, we're talking about sneakers, sneakerheads. This is an event for you at the Georgia International Convention Center on the 6th of April. So this bills itself as Atlanta's greatest sneaker convention. We'll find out when we get there, of course. So all you sneakerheads, if you've been to another one, you're going to find out if they're telling the truth. But it is a buy, sell, and trade shoe event, and there'll be thousands of people doing just that with sneakers and clothing from noon to 6 p.m. Now, they're expecting 5,000 plus people, 400 plus vendors, so you'll have a lot of opportunities to trade and buy, but there'll also be free giveaways of sneakers. There'll be special guests coming through, and there'll be contests for you to win some Air Max or some Air Jordans or some Adidas and all kind of Pumas and whatnot. And then there'll be live performances, and some of those in the past have included Meek Mill, Lil Yachty, The Baby, all these great artists. And so get out there. You never know who you might meet or who you might come and see. But this again happens on the 6th of April at the Georgia International Convention Center, and you can get information and tickets at eventbrite.com.
Mike, the sneakerhead is back.
I am, and it's also springtime. So, again, I've been wearing a lot of Pumas lately because they're not quite as expensive, but the colorways are really good. But I'm just all about, I'm trying to have a sneaker for all of the monochrome colors that I wear. So I'm I really need to find
things. That's a lot of sneakers.
Yeah. So, I mean, and it does become a problem. So, anyway. Are you judging me, Sammy?
No,
what about your sneakers? I just caught that.
I don't have many sneakers.
You need to go and get some sneakers.
I guess I do.
This is why I keep bringing up sneaker cons and sneaker events, because I'm trying to get you to get some sneakers. Yeah.
Okay.
And you would look really cool with some really good sneakers. You're cool anyway, but I think you would be
That's so nice.
You do look like a sneakerhead. You just don't know it.
I always wanted to be, but I just never really knew where to start. So maybe this is a good place to
I was
start.
not a sneakerhead until recently, and now I talk about it all
the time. So...
All right, what do you have next?
Well, I don't know if you've noticed the resurgence in all things Shrek on the internet as of late, but Shrek the Musical is going to be at the Fox April 6th through 7th. So I think this is a really big thing for people my age who were about the right age when Shrek the movie came out. I think it was 2001. But this is a stage musical adaptation based on that DreamWorks animated film. It's It's a Tony Award-winning musical, which I think a lot of people might not be aware of. It's got songs from Janine Tesori, who recently wrote Kimberly Akimbo, and you might also know Caroline or Change. And it brings together all the beloved characters you know from the film. So you've got Donkey, you've got Shrek, Fiona, the Gingerbread Man. Lord Farquaad might not be quite as beloved, but definitely memorable. And it's a lot of fun. I'm going to go to this with my roommate. She saw it was coming and she immediately was like, we're getting tickets. She loved Shrek. So we're going to be there. I think it'll be a lot of fun. You can get tickets at the Fox Theater's website, which will be at the link in our show notes. Again, that's Shrek the Musical at the Fox, April 6th through 7th.
Okay, so I'm interested in this. Why do you think it won a Tony?
So Shrek the Musical won a Tony for Best Costume Design, which makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah, it does.
It's a lot of costume design, to say the very least. But it was nominated for Best Original Score. Janine Tesori is really, really great. Like, I mean, Kimberly Akimbo is recent, but that's like a very celebrated musical. And the music in this is actually really good. I mean, it has that kind of fairy tale, it's not a Disney thing, but it has that same kind of sentiment to it with a little bit of a twist, which I feel like is what, Shrek was all about, trying to like break away from the Disney mold a little bit.
But even if you don't think that you were a Shrek the movie type of person, Shrek the musical could actually do,
I think it'll be a lot of fun. The only time I've actually ever seen it is a middle school production. So that's a very different vibe than the Fox. But they were good. The kids were good. They did a good job.
Well, I was wondering what you meant when you was like, I was the right age for Shrek. I was like, like who can age us over there?
Okay, 2001, I was like, what, 7?
Okay.
Yeah.
That was
right age for
that's the
Shrek.
number? Okay, cool. This is How Do You Atlanta. I'm Mike Jordan. We'll be right back after this break.
At a time when information continues to come at us faster and faster, sometimes you need to hit pause and rewind. NPR's Throughline takes you back in time to the source of the news stories filling your feed. Find NPR's Throughline wherever you get your podcasts.
Support for WABE's local coverage on maternal health and mortality comes from Georgia Health Initiative, whose mission is to inspire and promote collective action that advances health equity for all Georgians. Learn more at georgiahealthinitiative.org.
All right, what else do you have for us, Mike?
All right, up next we have the Atlanta Blues Festival, and this is on the 7th of April. Now, it's also known as the Blues is All Right Tour, and it's coming to Cobb Energy Performing Arts Center for the 18th time. So it's the 18th annual ATL Blues Festival on this Sunday, and the blues is going to be this musical storytelling with the stark emotion and the revolving reality check of it all that you really like, that authentically raw, transforming tragedy and adversity and heartache. Y'all know what the blues is. You know it when you hear it, and it's going to be a lot of it at this event. So some of the artists that are going to be performing are Tucka, that's Tucka, King George, Pokey Bear, Westlove, and Librato. So it's some very well-known blues artists. And the thing about the blues circuit is, oftentimes if you're not really into it, you may not know that these folks have cult followings. So all of these folks, they've been here before, they're coming again. So it's going to be a really big event. If you love blues, you're going to want to be there at the Cobb Energy Performing Arts Center on the 7th of April. And this is, again, the Atlanta Blues Festival. You can get tickets at cobbenergycenter.com.
There's nothing I love more than like a good blues artist name. Like, they call it like Muddy Waters, Ma Rainey, Howlin' Wolf.
Howlin' Wolf,
like,
absolutely.
A great blues name goes a really long way.
Yeah, and I mean, the song titles go even longer sometimes. Like, it can get really wild out there in blues land. But, even Millie Jackson, she lives here. Like, iconic blues artists. And so, Atlanta in the South, there's just so much great blues music, and there are a lot more blues fans than people are even willing to admit. So I'm really interested in what this crowd is going to look like. But I hope it's a blowout good time of, maybe not so good feelings, but really good music,
Yeah, and you're probably a blues fan even if you don't think you are. It's influenced like everything we listen to.
So. Oh yeah. All right, Sammy, what do you have next?
So coming up on April 8th, we've got the April Beer Dinner at New Realm Brewing. So Monday, April 8th at 5 p.m., There'll be a delicious evening of great food and craft beer at New Realm. So there's going to be a special menu curated to pair perfectly with some of New Realm's tasty selection of beers. It's a great opportunity to unwind, socialize, and just enjoy some great food and drink. So some of those courses, I don't want to go through all of them, leave a little up to surprise, but you've got tiger shrimp with panko breadcrumbs, citrus aioli, chives, paired with the Kick Flipper IPA. They've also got a sticky short rib, which sounds very good to me, with sweet potato tostones, parsnips, and Vidalia onion, crispy garlic. Sounds really, really good, paired with a Southern Light Lager. So that's just some of what you got to look forward to. It sounds really, really good. There's also a pan-seared grouper on the menu that is just calling my name. Sounds delicious. Tickets are $60, but I believe there are some additional fees, so look out for that. And you can get tickets for this at the link in our show notes. So again, that's the April beer dinner at New Realm Brewing on April 8th.
Very nice. I mean, all of those great things that you just mentioned, the seasonings, the herbs, the garlic, and everything like that, all of that goes really well with beer. Take it from someone who drinks beer. And also New Realm, it's right there on the Beltline. You can walk up to it, you can walk back from it. So it's also going to burn off some of those calories for you. So feel free to go big, I would say, and you'll get all of those good calories out of there, but you also get a chance to sample how well you can pair beer. Because one thing that I don't think people know is they say that you can actually pair beer with more things than you can pair wine with.
I was going to say, I feel like you always think of pairings in conjunction with wine and never beer. So it's interesting that you say that.
Yeah, that's what the beer heads say. So again, go out there and prove it right or wrong. But I mean, it's a great event. And I mean, anytime that we can support the local breweries, because they've had a hard go of it since the pandemic. So it's definitely a good thing to go out there and show some love and drink a beer while you do it.
All right, what else do you have for us, Mike?
All right, round it up. We have the Atlanta Persian Festival. That is on the 7th of April, this Sunday, and it happens from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. at Piedmont Park. And what this is it was basically established in 2013 by the Persian Community Center of Atlanta in order to promote Persian culture in the city. So the components of this all aim to accomplish that goal, from Persian music to Persian food and dance, all kinds of cultural activities to show the people of Atlanta what Persian culture is all about. And sometimes, we don't always get that look at what happens across the pond or in other regions and other continents. So this is a great opportunity to do that while having some delicious food like your shish kebabs, and out here pistachio saffron ice cream is going to be out there, which sounds amazing. And then gyros and all kinds of great food, like I said. But again, those musical performances, the dancing, the arts, and the craft are also part of it. So go out and make some new friends, get some new culture on April 7th at Piedmont Park at the Atlanta Persian Festival. And you can get information at atlantapersianfestival.weebly.com.
Pistachio saffron ice cream sounds like the greatest thing I've never had.
Yeah.
I want that right now.
Yeah. And I mean, I do like pistachio ice cream, but I've not thought about it with saffron. And the same way I remember, when I was trying, olive oil ice cream, and I was like, what's this like? And I was like, oh, this is great.
Wow.
So a lot of those things that you would normally used to being, savory or things that you would cook with, they actually do really well in ice cream as a device. So, yeah, don't judge it until you try it. And
gotta check that out.
Who's going to be weird about ice cream?
Nobody.
Eat whatever ice cream people give you, people. Do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, that's everything we have for this week on How Do You Atlanta. For more on these and other events, check out howdoyouatlanta.com. How Do You Atlanta is a joint production of WABE and Rough Draft. This podcast is produced by Crystal Devone with editing from Scotty Crow, WABE's Vice President of Audio. You can find links to all these events in the podcast show notes.
WABE.
Ever wondered where to find the best dumplings in town? Curious about Atlanta's obsession with lemon pepper? Join us on Savory Stories, a new podcast, as we uncover the untold tales behind Atlanta's culinary scene. From the roots of your favorite dishes to the creators that bring them to life, we're diving deep into the heart of the city's food culture. Listen to Savory Stories at wabe.org/podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts.
WABE.
The world has changed, from shifts in power to a mental health crisis. So with all this social change, how do we balance the human desire for empathy, the business need for productivity, and the hope to make an impact in our community? This is a new podcast, The Social Impact Leader. I'm Jeff Schinnebarger. Join me as we explore people doing work a little different. Have Available every Wednesday at wabe.org/podcast or wherever you get your podcasts.
WABE.